Welcome to Five Lemons Laughing. I'm Amanda. I'm here with Melissa, Penny, and Morgan. Drusilla is off living her life, so we send her lots of love.
Mhm.
Hey, and speaking of love, mo- most of us think that that's what we're looking for. We're looking for love. But what if we're actually looking for what feels familiar? Because healthy love can feel strangely uncomfortable if you're not used to it. What if you're used to inconsistency? If love equals inconsistency or emotional unavailability, easy for me to say, right? Sometimes we think it's having to prove ourselves or actually fight to be chosen to be loved. Sometimes we don't push away love because we don't want it. We push it away because we don't trust it. It's unfamiliar. But real love doesn't ask us to perform. It doesn't ask it to chase. It doesn't ask us to earn. And for many of us, that can feel absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. Thanks, Amanda. I've been there. That's for sure.
Mhm.
You know, felt I had to just earn that love and earn everything. And if it came to me in a more kind of purified package, I didn't know what the hell to do with that. So, receiving love sounds beautiful in theory, but in reality, it can, if it's not what you're used to, just this pure love, if it's not what you're used to, it can bring up a lot of fear and vulnerability, maybe some grief or distrust, and most likely nervous system discomfort, because that goes hand in hand. So, a lot of us grew up learning that we love with conditions. We're helpful, we're good, we're attractive, we're successful, we have to be easy about everything. We can't be too much, we can't need too much, all of that. And so we learn how to perform for love instead of just to simply receive it. I also think it's just like almost genetic in the female system. Um, but another way to say it is some of us learn how to earn connection, but never how to safely rest inside of it. So here's a little example to kind of get you thinking. Someone loves you consistently, texts you back, shows up, communicates clearly, and instead of relaxing into it and receiving all that pure intention, you become suspicious and bored, uncomfortable, or emotionally distant. And that can reveal a lot about our relationship with love. And I have definitely been in those relationships where I just thought the guy was boring because he really loved me so much and, doted on me and that kind of thing. I definitely went for the bad boys sometimes. So, yeah. So what does that say? Well,
Is it about worthiness?
Sure. Sure.
And it just, all of what you both said reminds me of the allegory of the cave. Just like we as humans prefer the familiar over the unfamiliar, even if the familiar is hell.
Yeah.
And that's why relationships that are like very dramatic have a hard time shifting out of that drama because the drama has become comfortable for them.
Yeah.
I think
I've known well, I will say I have known a lot of people and probably I identified with it because I probably grew up with it as well. But just the chaos, like you said, the drama relationships, there's also that like household that you grew up in that was just so chaotic. Mine didn't tend to be like full on explosions and screaming and all that stuff, but I do know people who grew up that way and then don't really know what to do when that's not happening, like how to communicate and relate and receive and give without all that chaos. It's just be so normal. And when you see it from outside of the relationship, it's really obvious. So that might be something that we talk about as well, like what we see in the giving and the receiving. Amanda, back to you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad you got a chance to say that. Because it's so interesting. Like I remember the first time that I heard, because it's familiar, it really struck a chord.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was looking for patterns that were familiar because that was comfortable in a very dysfunctional way, right? Like, but don't realize it. Like looking for that comfort in the familiar, in the routine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. Just realizing that, like, gave me an opportunity to, like, check in different aspects of my life. Like, am I looking, like, am I doing this because it's familiar? Or am I doing this? Like, am I consciously choosing this? Or is it just some old record that's got stuck in the groove? It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just the first step, because that groove is so deep. Like, even when we do have that new awareness, like, oh shit, I keep choosing this when I really don't want it. Guess what? We still continue to choose it, even when we have that awareness.
Yeah. Because like when you're in that groove, you don't even recognize real love, right? Like it's not even, you can't even see it. It's not even available to you. It's just amazing. And then part of it also that I'm discovering is like the drama and all of that. Like, I think Melissa, you mentioned this, like, like receiving love feels very peaceful, and it's a whole different feeling. And we as a society are, or for me, I'll just speak for me personally, like that feeling of adrenaline, that feeling, whatever that feeling is like, I'm alive. I feel that. Like uh, I don't know if it's because I'm used to it or like, oh my God, I just need to feel alive. So like I crave that, whatever that feeling is. I'm sorry, I can't express it
Is
here.
that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not
Well, for
following that.
me, for me, it is, it isn't, it's not, I wouldn't claim it as bad, but it's not the most healthy thing in the world, right?
So
Because
that the love with the drama, or the go fast, your go fast, then that is the old pattern. And then real love, or pure love, like I said, that's the peace.
That's the peace. And peace is so, I've said it on the podcast before, like, I don't want peace. It's so boring, right? Like, it just is so boring to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I still like push away that peaceful, easy
feeling.
I can't say feeling because I'm going to break out the song.
But can I just tweak your words slightly?
Yes, please
I feel
do.
like you're talking about more your perception of what peace is and your experience of it versus what actual true peace is. Because I don't think like living in that experience of pure, unadulterated truth, peace, love, whatever you want to call it, would ever be boring or lack a sense of vitality. That's just your interpretation or your projection, if I may.
Yes, well said, Morgan. Absolutely. This is through my filter of what I think it is. So, just it goes back to the familiar pattern. Like it's familiar. So I block anything that doesn't have that juice in it, right?
Yeah. It's making me think about, I'm rereading Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now right now. And he describes like he can just sit on a park bench for hours in a state of pure bliss. And it makes me think of even like John Muir in the woods, like just studying the movement of the forest and just being enraptured. And to them, there is nothing boring about either of those experiences. It is like the ultimate mushroom trip, except for there's no psychedelics involved. It's just they're fully enmeshed with reality. And from an outsider's perspective, it's like, God, that would be so boring. But when you're in the experience, there's nothing boring about it. So I don't know. That's just kind of what was coming to me as we're talking about this.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that's to just wrap up my little take on it. That is familiar. That's why I blocked healthy love for a long time, because it was unfamiliar. And the adrenaline, the drama, the whatever it is, I thought that's what my perception of what love was.
One of our questions that we had talked a little bit about for today is, how do we confuse intensity, chaos, or inconsistency with love? And I think for a lot of us, we probably grew up that way because we grew up with parents who were just doing their best, right? But probably weren't very well trained in that. And then we see movies and we see, people around us, and we think these big grand gestures and passion and everything is love, when it does get confused with chaos and intensity. And it doesn't necessarily, it can mean love, but it really is not. Penny?
Oh my gosh, this is an interesting topic, because as Amanda was talking about her experience, that's pretty much my experience too. I was contemplating, am I recreating that chaos and intensity from my childhood in my current relationships? I would say yes, I did do that, because it's all I knew. It's it was so interesting. I mean, I've talked about this in a previous podcast, going to friends' place when I was growing up, and coming into their family for the 24, 36 hours I was at their place. It was so interesting to see the interaction in their family and how different it was from my family. I mean, there was so much, I don't know if I want to say there was so much more love, because there was a lot of love in ours. It was just not, it was a little different kind of love. But it was just a very calm love, I guess. But maybe they were just putting on a show for me because I was their guest. I don't know. I sometimes question that. But so I think that for me, I did not know what healthy love was either growing up. And I've had to really work on receiving healthy love and I still sometimes doubt that, I wonder, okay, is that person really honestly wanna, is this really love, or is this just a show? Yeah. So that's where I'm kind of at. But I mean, I get it. I get that. I want the peace. I want the serenity. I want the calm now more as I'm getting older and older. It's just not even worth it to, I used to crave the bad boys, wanting to, but I mean, I've been married for 34 years now or something like that. Yeah, 34 years. And so I'm not there anymore, but I'm not quite sure what I'm saying right now, but I really want peace, serenity, harmony now so much more. And that's the healthier love in my perspective. Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like your experience that you described of going to the other home and seeing their experience of family relationships and comparing it to yours is probably very similar to John Mark's experience of coming to visit my family. And I did not grow up with a lot of chaos and drama in my household at all. And I find it very interesting that then I chose a relationship where there was a lot of chaos and drama. Very interesting.
So interesting.
It is interesting.
How do you how are you with receiving love from John Mark?
Well, so good now. I mean, there's been so many things that have shifted over the years for sure. But what was modeled in my household maybe not chaos and drama, but definitely this idea of the self-sacrificing mother, matriarch. There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
And so, with John Mark, I naturally tended to overgive and overdo acts of service and all of that kind of stuff. But all of that dynamic is shifting as well. I still enjoy doing some of those things, and I do them because I choose to, not because I feel that I have to in order to earn his love. And I think I'm helping him to shift because it's in the fabric of our society. You know what I'm saying? Like, there have been times he would call me into the kitchen to point out a mess that the cats had made, and I'd said, I was in there doing something else. They're your cats too. Clean it up. Don't call me in here. And it's like he just has a light bulb moment. Like, what the heck was that? What was I doing? But anyway, it's all a work in progress.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have like grown into the allowing him to love you more and just receiving it, rather than like constantly having to give back or like earn it?
Yes. And it's in direct proportion with my growing into self-love and self-worthiness.
Yeah.
And I never really thought of myself as a person who didn't love myself fully and completely. But when you get in and start looking with a magnifying glass, things get uncovered that you didn't realize were there. And so as I have learned to love and respect and honor myself, that has naturally impacted the way that that's reflected back to me in my relationship with John Mark.
Good.
That's amazing. There's it's so interesting. You said something, I don't know if you said like performing. I don't know if we've talked about that yet, but like self-sacrificing and like the performance for love. I definitely, when I was a kid, thought that I had to behave a certain way to get love, right? And that's very performative.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did actually. Oh, right. Like I don't know what my parents were thinking underneath. They might have, right? But my perception of it was that I had to behave a certain way to get love, to get acceptance.
Yeah.
And that really, I think that really like established a way for me to live, right? Like performing. It was exhausting. It is exhausting having to think I have to do stuff to be accepted. I have to have certain thoughts, certain beliefs, or people won't love and accept me. And that is not love.
It's not. It's
That's
not. Absolutely, it is not. And I'm laughing because it's making me think about how embedded this is in society, because you hear of things like marry me chicken recipes.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? With the idea that if I just can cook something so delicious, he can't possibly say. It's so ridiculous, but it's not like it's everywhere that women and men are overcoming these embedded.
Yeah.
It's bringing up in me, and it's bringing up in me like, oh my God, like, am I withholding love from people because they don't think like I do? They don't behave like I think they should behave. They don't have the opinions that I think, that, oh my God, like I'm sitting here doing a little personal inventory and ouch, a little reality check here. I still have those things running in the back of my mind.
Well, those are very human. I know I'm with you. Like I would like to go beyond that and move into full acceptance of everyone and everything, right? Without me somewhere in my mind thinking it has to be different for me, for them, for whatever. But we have evolved this far with keeping tribes in and keeping tribes out.
Right.
So it's part of our DNA, not that we can't move beyond it, but I think it's really helpful to just acknowledge that. Then you kind of ease up on yourself a little bit and go, okay, this is kind of the deck I'm I was dealt, and I'm going to do the best I can with it. But I do it too.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
and what I'm realizing too, well, I mean, we've known this, but it's coming into mind again, is like when you love someone based on how they behave, then of course you're going to feel self-conscious and fear that if you don't behave a certain way, that you won't be loved. And like, that's another thing besides learning self-love and self-worth. When I started coming to acceptance and fully loving John Mark, no matter how he was showing up, that's when things started shifting in our relationship. And yeah, and I've talked about it before. Like that didn't mean that I had to stay in the relationship if certain behaviors were destructive and harmful. But, but I was not going to withhold love because of those behaviors. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
It
really
does make
does.
complete sense.
Yeah.
I've seen you do that, Morgan, and I am in awe every time you do it.
Thank you. It's because of my spiritual support system.
Yeah.
That I'm even able to.
Right. Yeah. Conversations like this, like, because it brought to mind where I am withholding love because of somebody else's opinions. And I think that has to go hand in hand, right? Like Morgan, you just mentioned it. If I am withholding love, that means I'm not receiving it either. Like I've cut off that spigot. I put a crink in the hose a little bit.
Ooh, so I get a chance tonight to really practice this.
Ooh, do tell, Penny.
Yeah. So, that neighbor.
Yes.
Yeah.
The neighbor.
But you have to give a short recap for our listeners.
So we live in a community that has a private road and a private water corporation. And we were having our road repaired, quite about $300,000 or something like that. And we all voted yes. She chose not to come to any of the meetings. She chose to create some havoc, and she's now suing all of us. And she wants to change our bylaws for our water corporation. And we're just going to entertain it. And we have our annual membership meeting June 20th. And tonight, the Green Mountain Water Corporation Board of Directors, which I'm on, is meeting, and she wants to present her bylaws change. And so I'm open to hearing her, but I've already made up my mind.
Yeah, Penny, I was like, it doesn't sound like you're open.
It's hard. This is hard shit.
It is.
And I want to love her, and I want to, it's just really challenging. I mean, this is like real life stuff when somebody is going against the way you think they should behave. And they're not falling in line, then that it just seems like it's just much more challenging to give unconditional love. I think there's some conditions that I'm putting on the relationship. And so, boy, I got a bit of work to do today to clean that up before 8:00 tonight. Oh my gosh. Maybe you guys can help me. It is at my house.
Oh, that was also up for
yes, she wasn't going to come here because she didn't think she was welcome, which is not true.
Well, that's
her ideas may not be welcome.
So Penny, so since this episode is about giving and receiving, right? And we drew a correlation about like not giving. So what are you going to, it's the same thing, not giving, not able to receive. So what steps are you going to do to give unconditionally and receive unconditionally? No pressure, honey, but like,
no
don't
pressure.
know if I have enough time. No, I've only got 12 hours. I've done a lot of service beyond the group level in Al-Anon. And one of the things that is really important when you're in the business of anything is that you listen to the minority voice with an open heart, just to hear that they might have a perspective that I hadn't even considered. And so my plan is to really, truly be open to it, though. I mean, it's a crazy ass plan, you guys. She wants to do something that is not even nobody, I mean, listen, well, we've already discussed it amongst ourselves, the board and other members of the community, and there's just no way anybody's going to go along with what she wants. And so I don't know. When you have somebody have a crazy idea that they want to implement and everybody goes against it, I mean, I'm going to ask you, how would you handle that situation where it's actually what she's recommending is to change up the bylaws in a way that benefits her for her perceived safety, I guess. She doesn't feel safe, which is just, it's okay. But I don't know what she does come from another country where there's a lot of unrest and probably safety is a real issue. And so if I can keep myself in that compassionate part of my heart, knowing that is a real thing for her, yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for suggestions from you all.
What about, like actually hearing her, right? Like receiving her voice during the time she's speaking, like when the judgments are coming up, just receive what she says.
So that's a really good point. So what triggered in my mind is I used to do a meditation, and it was like, I choose love was the mantra for the whole meditation, is just, I choose love, I choose love, I choose love. And so that's what I'm going to be saying to myself as she talks, is just, I'm choosing love, choosing love, choosing love. Yeah, I will receive what she has to say. This is going to be a challenge for me. I want you to know.
Don't
Yeah.
keep affirming that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Morgan. This is going to be easy, and it's going to go smooth, and we're going to hear her, and she's going to feel validated. Because what is the whole purpose in life? Is we just want to be heard, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to be seen and heard.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And what if you opened your realm of possibility to more than just two options, y'all's way or her way, and you trusted that there is a win-win-win solution available, even if you don't know what that is, and you put spirit in charge and just came with the intention that all parties would leave feeling validated, feeling heard, her need for safety would be met somehow, some way, and just, yeah.
Yeah. And it really is that simple, right? It really is. And all she's asking for is to be notified when somebody's going to cross her 5 feet of property that we cross and go behind her house and work in our storage tank. That's all she's asking, but she wants to she wants to change up the easement and all that stuff, which the majority of the community is not going to agree on. So we can just simply agree to let her know. And that's what I was so against it. And then one day I just said, what's the big deal? Just text her when you're going to be at the storage tank. No big deal. It's not always possible. And she needs to be aware that we have really bad cell service in our community. And if there is an emergency and we need to get to the storage tank and we're in a spot that there's no cell service, she's got to understand that we might be back there working, or our, people. And she may not know about it until afterwards when we get cell service. So yeah, I think it's just that simple, is that we just need to let her know, and we don't have to change anything except commit to letting her know.
Can she tell you yes, come, or no, come, or don't come?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Legally, we have a right to cross that 5 feet of property and go to our storage tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all legally, and she wants to change that. She wants it to say that we have to notify her before we cross but that's what an easement is all about, is you have the previous owners granted the right for us to pass. And, when you buy properties, you need to read the documentation because, there's a lot of stuff that comes with properties that that as a new owner, you're not aware of.
Yeah. And let's circle back to the giving and the receiving love, right? Because this is a great example, not just your husband, your wife, your kids, but just living in life.
Mhm.
And receiving is giving, giving is receiving. And if life is a mirror, is, like, is this reflected differently for you, Penny? Is there any space in your life that you don't feel like completely safe, or like
Oh,
you're,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually working on that right now. I recently some journaling I was doing, I realized that a lot of times I don't feel safe, and it's based on the way that I was raised. There was a lot of chaos and stuff going on, and I didn't always feel safe. And so I'm working on I guess receiving or understanding that I'm not there anymore. I am not a little kid, 5 to whatever age, 18 or whatever. I'm not that little girl anymore. And I'm in a totally different space now. And I am safe. And I can create that safety for myself. I don't have to, let that past and past experience project into today,
oh
because it's
yeah,
not true. It's really not true. And so safety has been something that I've been working on for myself. And I didn't even grow up in a war torn country.
hmm.
And, well, at least not yet, but
So how, like, so
And
what do you need to
mic drop.
receive? Yeah, we're moving on. What do you need to receive, Penny?
what do
Like,
I need to
so
receive?
what do you like?
Ooh.
What is going to open for you to allow you to receive this unconditional love that's safe?
Hmm. What do I need to receive this unconditional love that is safe? Boy, that's a really good question, Amanda.
Yeah,
You've got me pondering this. I am thinking about, what do I need to receive the unconditional love to feel safe? I need support from people that love me,
yeah,
like you all.
hmm,
I need to remember to partner up with my higher power and
yeah,
to know that I am protected and loved and lovable and loving and all those good things. And I need to continue to do my own work to heal my own stuff, so that I don't project it out onto others.
yeah.
And I can just project love, unconditional, beautiful, peace filled love. Yeah.
So what you were asking earlier is like, get preparing for this meeting. What if it's the opposite? Yes, be there, be open, be listening. But what if your prep today is receiving? What if that's it? Right? In this
What if
world.
it's
Uh-huh.
receiving from yourself, not
Yeah.
from her, not
Mm.
from her, but from you?
That
What
makes
do you
actually
need?
perfect sense,
Yeah.
Melissa. Yeah. Yeah. So I just need to give myself whatever it is that I'm seeking.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds so funny, but it is what it is.
It
Yeah.
is. And that
Yeah.
is, we just talked about it. We laughed a little bit about it, right? The receiving revolution, right? So if you practice receiving this love, if even giving it to yourself, this unconditional, safe love to yourself, can you imagine that the vibration that you will go into your life with?
Yeah.
That receiving changes everything. It affects every person that you interact with. It affects every space that you're in.
Yeah. So fill myself up. And so my cup is overflowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Thank you.
And you're having, like the book having,
Yeah.
and you're receiving,
Hmm.
and you're defenseless.
My favorite lesson:
Mm-hmm.
in my defenselessness, my safety lies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you
That
imagine going into
yeah,
this
that's a
conversation?
whole different way of going in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Without defending anything, without attacking or defending.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a whole
Yeah.
other thing. Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm. I can do this. I can do
You can do
it.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not doing. That's who you are, Penny.
Yeah.
At your
Yeah.
core, that's who you are.
Yeah. And that's why I invited her to come to she asked to come to the board meeting. Now we could have just ignored it. And then it's just going to blow up into another lawsuit because that's what she does. If she doesn't get validated, doesn't get heard, doesn't get seen. So yeah, just acknowledge people, I guess.
I'm so curious about your Post-it notes.
Yeah.
I want to see what
I
you
have
got.
nothing. I have nothing.
All right.
I have
Before we go into the Post-its, though,
Yeah.
I do want to say, like, my behavior has been caretaking for love.
Mhm.
And I have really started to like make boundaries I never would have made before. And it's very, it doesn't leave like a hollowness, but there is something there that is unaccustomed to not having to do for, and so it's kind of this like open part of me that is really interesting, really like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a part two to this discussion. I think like when you're not in that behavior, it feels differently, and there's some new something there for me.
more
To be
will be revealed,
continued.
right? Yeah. Yeah. Wow. This just opens up. We could just go down so many different rabbit holes, these conversations.
But I believe in the receiving revolution.
Yes.
I really do, Amanda. Amanda coined that one, and I fully believe it. I just really fully think if I was so totally open to receiving all the love and everything that's out there and all the goodness and everything, it would be instead of defenses, instead of all the what if that person does, then I'm going to do this, or that person did this, so I'm punishing, all that kind of stuff. It would be such a different world.
It's like being curiosity all day long, right? Like, what is this? Like,
you know, what can you receive from your neighbor today?
Yeah.
And also just remembering that you're not inviting your neighbor in, you're inviting God in.
Ouch.
I forget that all the time. So what can I receive from the universe today, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm writing that one down. That's good. I had very little else for the Post-its.
Well, that's a big one.
Yeah, so we are in a receiving revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only one that I wrote before just this last little minute is like receiving love, real pure love equals peace, and that is just so true. And the big question to keep asking ourselves all day long is, what can I receive from the universe? Like right now, what can I receive right now? That's just so powerful. Yeah. So as we wrap up this episode, maybe love was never meant to be something we fight for endlessly. Maybe real love just really feels like a lot less chaos, right? A lot less of intensity and more like safety, just like we were talking about, more being honest with what's going on and just really stepping into fully who you are and all the beauty that you are. And yeah, these are really deep conversations, maybe things that I hadn't really thought about. And so just asking ourselves today, this week until next week, what can I receive from the universe today? What can I receive from the universe today? And start really realizing that we are worthy of receiving. And we are worthy of receiving. That's all I can say. So next week, we're going to continue our Receiving Revolution series with receiving guidance. Man, we should have done that one today, people.
Yeah.
How intuition, stillness, and inner knowing can guide us and why we often override them. Boy, so stay tuned because more to come. And Melissa will get her little thought that she pondered answered, I'm sure. So thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, your transformation is our greatest joy. Stay tuned. More to come.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Love y'all.